got my laces tied. My trusty podcast by my side. If you wanna talk fun, it's the place to be. Yeah, it's the drop, D-R-O-P.
All right, today our guest is Molly Seidel. Seidel, I feel like no one ever knows how to pronounce this, so let's set the record straight.
You said it right the first time. You said
Seidel.
it right the first time. Seidel like title.
That's what I thought, but I just want to, for all the other people out there who might have had no idea who I was talking about. Welcome to the show. Bronze medal Olympian in marathon distance. Many more accolades to come and that we'll talk about, but we're excited to have you on. This is the second time, by the way.
This is the second time, but it's got to be weird because, like, I feel like, I don't know about you, Molly, but when I do a race and it's over, it's like you hang the medal up and you're like, okay, what's next? Is that the same with the Olympics? Like, is it just kind of like, oh yeah, I did that, whatever?
No, it is like it's funny because I will oftentimes like forget that I have the Olympic medal. And so like I chronically will undersell myself on things. And like it got to a degree that where like when I was living with my former coach, John, he would like hang up a fake medal in the house to like try and remind me. He's like, you have to act like have a little bit of self-confidence here. But no, it really is kind of like that. I feel like you go out and you accomplish something. And I try to not like dwell on it necessarily. Like it's obviously cool that I have an Olympic medal, but also like I'm hoping to do a lot more in my career. I'm hoping that's just one part of the journey. It sits in my cabinet right across the room over here, and I look at it every so often, but kind of is just a hunk of metal.
I've always wondered, like, it's like I feel like you spend so much time working on something and you go through it and you go through it and you do it. And then you have that lull of, okay, now what? Like, is this the biggest now what after an Olympics, or is it, you pretty much adjusted to it now?
I think my now what definitely happened a lot more. Like, I think I really went through that in like 22 and 23. Like, I've spent the last few years kind of like figuring that aspect of it out. And I think for me, especially with the Olympic medal, I think that was such a learning moment for me that like it really isn't about the accomplishment. It's about like who you come or like who you become en route to that. Like I think that achievement of the Olympic medal really showed me just what was like what my own capabilities were. And even I think now it's been most instructional for me of showing like what I can do, like switching to a new sport. And just that like you can't undersell yourself at all, that you have to really keep an open mind, because if you're willing to just go all in on something, like you can achieve a lot more than you ever thought. Like I won that medal a year and a half after starting marathoning. And so it's like I feel like it showed me that like you can't put limits on your own performance just because you don't know what you're doing yet.
That's crazy. Now, you said a new sport, but do you consider trail running a new sport?
I think all running is the same sport. I think it's a different discipline, just in the same way that like marathon's a different discipline than track. But like it's such a steep learning curve on all of these. Like even from going from track to marathon, that was one of the steepest learning curves I've ever had in a sport. And so it's like I think this transition from marathon to trail is just as steep of a learning curve and just as difficult. But I think that's what makes it fun.
Yeah, and just in case, spoiler alert, Molly's transitioning to trails.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Sorry if anybody missed all the press that I did around New York, but yeah, I'm doing trail running.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was your initial draw to trail running? Because obviously, it's like the other half of running. There's the road runners, there's trail runners. We like to do both from time to time. But what for you, especially as a professional athlete who was doing road marathons, you're pretty much training like mostly on roads. Mm-hmm. But what became that moment where you were like, oh, this is actually something I want to pursue a little bit more?
I think I first started experiencing it in kind of that like downturn after the Olympics when I was dealing with like a lot of like injuries. I was dealing just with a lot of like mental health troubles. Like I think coming off of a huge achievement like that and that kind of like
Mm-hmm.
oh shit moment of like what do I do now? Or like how do I keep maintaining this output and then realizing like my body physically could not maintain that output. The marathon world, it's so high intensity. It requires such like really, really hard threshold work all the time. And my body was breaking down. And I think it was really hard to manage just the pressure that was then put on me. And I started getting back into trail running. I think I did my first trail race back, like since starting professional running in like 2022 or so at Speed Goat, the shorter one.
Mm-hmm.
And trail running was such a nice break from the pressure of the marathon world because in trail, like obviously I was coming into it as like a highly accomplished road runner, but like they don't give a shit what you've done on the roads because it's such a different sport. And I got my butt kicked in those
Mm-hmm.
races, but it was always a fun thing to get to do that in the middle of the summer because it set me up much better for my road races in the fall because I wasn't going into it overtrained. I went into it with just a better mental space. And I think it took me a couple of years to realize, like, hey, I'm feeling a lot more joy and I'm feeling a lot more excitement about the running that I'm doing on trails than I am about the actual marathon training. What if
Mm-hmm.
we actually focus on this for a while? Because this feels like where the energy is pulling me a little bit, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Even just in this past build towards New York Marathon, I had made the firm decision in July to focus mainly on trail running, and then the opportunity came to run New York. And I think going through that build really showed me like, okay, at least at this point in my career right now, like marathon training is just not what's really filling me up. It's going out and training for these longer races. And I'll see if eventually I want to come back into marathon running. But at this point right now, I feel like I'm much more drawn to the trail side of things.
It's interesting because I'm going to guess there's a lot of pressure that comes with the medal and comes with like eyes on you now. Like, okay, here's the person who has to perform and has to, go out there, and you can't be like mediocre
Mm-mm.
after winning a medal, or at least I would feel that kind of
Mm-hmm.
pressure. I'm not sure if you did, but then
Mhm.
you go into trail, and it is a much more relaxed area. You're not somebody who has like you're not Jim Walmsley that they're like, oh, I expect you to win
Mhm.
Western States every time you line up. Is it taking out that pressure, but then on the flip side, you're actually adding pressure to the trail stuff now? It's like it was a release, but now that you're there and people are seeing it, is it just shifting that pressure from the road onto the trail, or do you ignore that?
I think it definitely has shifted in a sense. It's a different kind of pressure though, because I think with trail, it's much less exacting isn't the word, but like marathoning is so quantitative. Like you are tied to very specific times, you are tied to very specific races, you
Yeah.
are tied to a very specific schedule, and you don't have a whole lot of freedom in your life. Like I think that's what I struggled most with doing the marathon is I'm not the kind of person that can necessarily like live like a monk 12 months out of the year training for marathons. I think there are people that can do that. And it's the people who consistently have been good at marathons for like years on end. Like Sharon Lokedi is one of those people. That girl can lock in. But I really struggle with that. I love novelty of races. I love trying new things. I love trying things that are kind of out of my wheelhouse a little bit. And I think that's why I've been drawn to like some of the harder marathons, the ones that are less time trially. And I think for me, trail, while it is a lot of pressure going into the sport, I think there's a lot of expectation that's being put on me at Black Canyon. I think for me, it's nothing that I haven't handled in marathon already. Like I think I'm coming from like the most pressure cooker situation to like a fairly high pressure situation, but also like I think that that level of pressure makes me rise to the challenge to some degree. Like I know how
Yeah.
I had a lot of pressure going into the Olympics, and it's like I know how to handle that when I'm in the right mental place and when I'm excited about what I'm doing.
Right.
Yeah.
I think what happens is like I see what happened like more in 2022 with me where it's not fun for me anymore. It's draining me. I'm physically in pain all the time and there's a lot of pressure. That's where the wheels
Yeah.
come off.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. As an amateur runner, and I don't know if you feel this way, Robbie. One of the things I like about trail running is it's not like, okay, if someone says they ran Chicago, you can talk, you're
Right.
like, okay, I know what your time should be. I know where
Mhm.
you should be falling in. What I like about trail running is weather, elevation, terrain. There's so many different factors in it that can kind of make your like. I don't feel the pressure of having to hit a certain number on the trail. Like I'm not like, oh, I got to run a 45-minute whatever on this trail. It's kind of like, let's just see how it feels and just run the day. Do you get to do that?
I I don't get to do that, but that's solely because I'm a psychopath with things. Like I have to break myself of that. Like even now it's really tough because like I know a lot of the trail runners out here. Flagstaff is such a hub for running in general. And so like specifically Strava, now that I'm doing a lot of like these big, very famous trail runs, I've become an absolute psycho with some of the segments. And I feel like a lot of times I like really want to go after it because it's a fun challenge. And I'm not trying to like disrupt my training and trying to get it, but I think that's such a motivating, fun thing where you can
I didn't
objectively
even
look
think
at
about
it.
that.
And I know and aim for certain times, or even like for Black Canyon, I'm going to go out and do over the course of 2 days, basically run the entire course as like a workout. And I definitely like am aiming for certain times so that I know kind of like what I want to hit. Like that's a very famous 100K. Like a lot of very fast runners have run it. So you kind of know the times and the paces that you need to be hitting in order to do this. But I think that's just my marathoner brain entering the sport. And I'm trying to look at it as like, okay, I won't let it like take over me. But at the same time, that is kind of what makes me good.
See, I was thinking it was going to be like a break for you. Like you could just go out there and I'll just run how I feel that day.
But I think that's it. I'm not looking at trail running as like a break from the running world. Like I'm looking at it, and I think that's how a lot of people have
Right.
seen this transition. And I think
Yeah.
that's how, in all honesty, I think that's what it's been for marathoners in the past. Like when you see Des Linden retire from the marathon and go to
Right.
trail, you're
Right.
kind of like, oh, this is like kind of she's having fun with it now. When I'm doing
Yeah.
this, when I'm going from the marathon to the trail, like I'm intending to fuck shit up on the trail. Like
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
I
I
love
did
that.
not know that.
I'm trying to take like I think I'm looking at like what my body needs right now, especially like in order for me to have longevity as a pro athlete and as a very high level pro athlete. I can't run 2 marathons a year, otherwise I'll keep breaking my sacrum. And so I'm looking at like, okay, how can I take the intensity that I approach my and seriousness that I approach my training and apply that to a different discipline within the sport to make myself a better runner overall, whether that is on trail, in marathon, whatever I choose to do. And for the next 2 years,
Yeah.
that's going to be in trail. But I am intending to approach it with the same intensity that I bring to the marathon.
Do you, if it weren't for injuries and just I don't know about the monotony of road training, do you think you would still be committed to roads? Or do you think
I
that diverted you to trails just by nature of having that?
It's kind of funny because I think like I don't think you get to choose what your career is. I think that your career
Yeah.
plays out and you have to make the most of what you're given. And I think for better or for worse, I've learned this through my incredibly injury ridden collegiate career, my incredibly injury ridden marathon career, that it's like if I keep trying to do the same thing over and over, like the same thing's going to keep
Yeah.
happening. And I know what I need to do to stay healthy. It just sucks that it's like, if I'm being honest, yeah, I'd have loved to be able to like, I'd have loved to be able to run at Paris. I'd have loved to be on the cookie cutter marathon track, but I have to accept that that's just not what my journey is going to be. And rather than sit and mope about it and be like, boohoo, I might not ever run an American record in the marathon, like I have to be okay with that. And now I'm going to make the most of what my career is. And I think that the struggles that I've been through over the last few years have been a blessing in disguise because it's shown me like what it actually takes for me to enjoy this sport. I can either be
Yeah.
incredibly like I was miserable winning the medal. Like it's incredible like it was incredibly fun to win the medal, but like I wasn't in a good place mentally in order to do that. I wasn't at a healthy weight. I wasn't like living a healthy balanced life. And so I think like these struggles have shown me like hey, you have to be able to live the life that you want to live. And if you're happy, you can still achieve things at a high level, but it might look different
Right.
than what you've seen other pro runners do. I'm not going to be Dina
Yeah.
Castor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah. No, not many people are.
you
Yeah.
you recent I don't know when it wound down, but you were sponsored by Puma, and you're no longer sponsored by Puma. So I want to get into kind of some of the brands that you're running in now, and
Yeah.
what some of your favorites are and what you're trying. So is it kind of fun being I know it's probably great
Mm-hmm.
being sponsored and having that income, but is there some freedom going out on the trail and being able to pick your weapons?
It honestly was actually really nice. Like I've been incredibly grateful for every sponsorship I've ever had. I think it has like afforded me like a great amount of financial freedom. However, when it came time this year to make the decision on whether or not to resign, it just like the numbers didn't make sense. And I think I was at the point of being like, I've been under contract basically since age 18, whether that was like with a college that like had to run in a specific pair of shoes for that college or through various running contracts. And for the first time in my life, I wanted to give myself the opportunity to run in things that like I would choose for myself rather than what I was being paid to sell to people. And so I think for me, I also, as I was transitioning to trail running and in my mind being like, all these contracts reflect me having to run 2 marathons a year in order to not get reduced. And I just don't want to do that anymore. So making the decision to go independent was actually like incredibly freeing. But I had a lot of conversations with like a bunch of other pro athletes. Like Colleen Quigley was actually like super like helpful for me to talk to because she's also had kind of like an unconventional sponsorship journey.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was actually like I have to say like it's been really nice getting to just be an independent athlete this year and not like be beholden to anyone. And it's been really fun getting to just try out a bunch of different stuff. Because I'm like, as you guys know
And
from
I,
having
yeah,
talked
I
to
was
you guys in
gonna
the past, I'm a
say,
huge shoe nerd. And I
I was
love
gonna
getting
say
to
that.
try out things.
For our audience that doesn't know, you are as nerdy and geeky about shoes as we probably are.
Hmm.
And, uh, you've said it. I know some of the brands we've talked to that when you give them feedback say that you're very much, you're an active partner in developing shoes and stuff like that. So when you try these shoes, what are some of the ones that you're trying out that you like right now?
So the big one, like Nike shoes actually fit my feet really well. And like my main like road shoes that I train for like New York in, I've been a Pegs super fan like for the last however many years. And so I do the bulk of my road training in Pegasus and Vomero, just depending on how far I'm going.
Just the standard
Um,
one?
yeah, just the standard.
Okay.
Like I find that like they're just a great all around shoe. And then on the trails, it's been really fun to try out a bunch of different stuff, but I've kind of fallen into primarily wearing in my just normal big mileage days the Zagama, which I feel like is a great all around shoe. I love the Vibram rubber underfoot. That shit just sticks to everything. And then the On Cloud Ultra Pro,
Yeah.
that has been
That
like
was a big,
actually like I got sent a pair of those a couple months back, and like they really really surprised me because I hadn't really run in On shoes a bunch, and I use a lot of those for my up tempo like runs, especially on fire roads or if I'm doing a trail workout. And I've been really blown away because I'm not a huge fan of plated shoes, to be honest. Um, but and especially hesitant with all the knee problems that I've had. I was very hesitant to try them on trail and I was kind of like, whoa, this actually like feels really good. So that's been like it's been fun getting to swap around depending on the days, whichever brand that like I feel fits that day best.
Yeah.
are brands reaching out and sending shoes?
Yeah, it also helps having a lot of friends in the industry at this point
Yeah.
too. So like I have a lot of friends sending me shoes who are like working for different companies now. But yeah, it's been nice. Nike sent me a bunch of shoes right before New York because they knew I was going to race in Vaporflies. And then yeah, On has been sending some stuff. I've got some waiting for me in Wisconsin when I get back because I've been wearing like slightly too large. It's tough figuring out the sizing between different
Yeah.
brands.
That is a tough one.
I think that you get the European shoes and they're going off their scale of shoes. So it's sometimes you get that little bit of wiggle room in
Yeah.
sizing.
Well, and even with
Yeah, that's-
trail, I find that I want a roomier toe box in some of those because, like, if I'm going to be in the
right.
canyon for 4 to 5 hours, your foot is
Right.
like going to swell quite a bit, and you just
Expand,
need to be able to have that stability.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when you're training for these different efforts, what kind of mileage are we looking at now that you're doing the trail stuff? Is it more time based or is it mileage based?
So it's a lot. It's all time based. What I'm doing, just
Okay.
because it's so variable, depending on the
Right.
terrain that you're on. I'm actually overall doing much less mileage than I do at peak marathoning. I think,
Hmm.
like at my best in marathoning, I'm usually running 130 to 140 miles a week, just because so much of marathon is that rhythm. Like you have to constantly be moving. You constantly have to be doing like pretty high volume days. We're like a big double threshold background
Yeah.
on it. And I found with trail, so I switched coaches during this trail period to Cliff Pittman with CTS, and a lot of their philosophy is kind of like the big days are really big and the easy days are really
Hmm.
easy. So rather than doing every single easy day a 90-minute run in the morning and a 45-minute run at night, easy days like today, I just ran an hour and that'll be it. I might go skiing this
Nice.
afternoon. But then
Yeah. So we
like
are like,
tomorrow,
yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So it's at like it's actually very
Robbie's going
nice and
skiing
easy on
later.
the easy days. But like this week, so like Tuesday and Wednesday, I had like a 3 hour run and a 2.5 hour run. Um, so that was like a big workout in Sedona. And then yesterday we were in the Grand Canyon. I get today easy, and then tomorrow will be 4 hours, and then the next day will be 3 hours. So it's like
So wait a
it's
sec.
blocked.
Gotcha.
Two things. When you're running in the Grand Canyon, where are you running?
So right now there's actually a lot of closures in the Grand Canyon because of the
Yeah.
fires and because they've been doing a lot of like renovation work down there. So right now I'm doing a lot of stuff between South Kaibab, Tonto, which comes across, and then Bright Angel. So yesterday was a shorter day. It was only 2.5. So we just did Kids Loop, which is, yeah, down South Kaibab, across, and then back up. And that's like 14-ish, 15-ish miles.
Okay.
But like if I'm doing a longer run, I'll usually start from Bright Angel and then go all the way across down to Phantom Ranch. So you go 6,000 feet down,
Yeah.
6,000 feet back up. And so that's a big day.
Okay. So that's
Yeah.
basically a mini rim to rim, like you're just
Yeah.
going down and up, right? Okay.
Yeah. For like
And how many
more or
miles
less,
would
that would
that
have been
be?
rim to rim. That was, I want to say it was 24 to 25 miles when I did that one,
All right. So
just because
there's
you can't
still
do rim
running
to
in
rim
there
right
even with the
now.
closures.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. I believe it's
Yeah.
open up to Cottonwood Campground. So, like, I'm determining tomorrow for my long run, I might try and go out to Cottonwood Campground and back. And we'll just
Okay.
see how
And how
long
far
that
would that
goes.
be?
I think that would be probably 30.
Okay, that's a reasonable. You're on Strava. I'm gonna see that map. We
Yeah.
wanted to do rim to rim to rim this spring, but with the north closure, it's down. But it'd still be fun to maybe do something in the canyon.
Okay, this is going to be my hottest take that might get me a lot of hate from
Okay.
the trail community. I don't actually think rim to rim is that fun of a run. And anytime I have friends that come out to Flagstaff that want to do rim to rim or rim to rim to rim, I talk them out of it and take them on some other trail because I think that
Okay.
there are better runs that you can do, and rim to
Will
rim
you
is
give
not
me
that fun.
as long as it's over 26 miles? It's got to be an ultra. Can you send me a good loop or a good run out
They
there?
absolutely can. I think the best one that you can do is down South Kaibab through Phantom Ranch, and then you go up North Kaibab a bit to Ribbon Falls, which is a really cool waterfall that comes like you get through the box, and I want to say it's about maybe 16 or 17 miles to there. So it would
Okay,
be closer to like 32 miles round trip. And then
that'd be perfect.
you come back down through and you go up Bright Angel, and you don't have to deal with the 4 hour drive from the North Rim because rim to rim
Okay,
requires a lot of
that
logistics.
yeah.
Yeah.
I did rim to rim. I was supposed to be doing rim to rim to rim, and we quit up at the top of the other side. It's my only DNF that I consider my DNF, and I had to take a service van. We hired one of the maintenance guys at the hotel up there to drive us all the way back, and I didn't realize it was going to be a 4 hour drive.
It's gnarly.
Yeah, and I was on the floor of a van without like nothing is just a metal van floor
Yeah.
after running rim to rim.
Yeah.
Worst mistake. But so I want to go back, but I'm gonna remember and write that down. But the question I have about that is you're running longer. It's got to be, and you're now sponsored by Morton.
Oh, I've been sponsored by Morton for a while. I think they started sponsoring me in like 20 right after trials actually.
Oh, wow.
Okay, then
Okay.
yeah, but it's a little different fueling for ultra trail runs than road races, wouldn't you say?
Oh, 100%. It's
Any
been
tips?
like Yeah, it's so funny because so when I was training for the marathon, a lot of my fueling would kind of be like I'd occasionally take gels on a long run and like then during a race I would do like a gel every 5K or like 5 ounces of 320 drink mix every 5K. But I really wasn't that specific about it. It was kind of just like, oh, I'll take it during the races and like take it when I feel like it. And with ultra, you like absolutely cannot afford to be lackadaisical with fueling. Like fueling is half the battle. And a big part of it is really wanting like my coach really wanted me to be able to get up to 80 to 90 grams an hour consistently over the course of an ultra. And as someone who would take 60 grams an hour during a marathon and throw up almost every single time, I'd be like, that sounds insane. I don't know if I can do that. And it has been the wildest thing because, like, last weekend, I had a 5 hour run and I was able to get in 90 grams an hour all 5 hours and finish
Nice.
and
Oh, wow.
still be like, oh, I need a hamburger right now.
Wait a second, 90 grams an hour. How much is that? Like, what are we looking at in fuel?
So usually I'm trying to take a full bottle of 320, which is 80 grams every
In an hour?
hour.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And then I'm intermittently taking at least a gel in between that.
That is solid. That is
Yeah.
super solid.
And it's been wild because I think like I've always struggled like my biggest like hindrance like in being able to go longer and maintain output for that long has been fueling. But I think I was always really like scared of just taking that much because it seemed like a lot. And I'm coming from a background in the NCAA where like we weren't allowed to drink water on long runs. So I'm like, I shouldn't be taking that
Right.
many carbs. And it was such a mind shift, like when I was able to start doing that. But it took a while to build up to it. I couldn't do that just off drink mix for a while. For a while, I was having to like alternate drink mix with Rice Krispies just so I had something solid in my stomach. And after a couple of weeks, like my body adjusted to it because it's just like any other training, which I don't think I fully
Right.
realized when people are like, oh, you train your gut. I'm like, oh, it means that the more that you do it, the more that you can handle. Duh.
Yeah.
That's crazy because like we just did a long run and I was just trying to get a gel down every 25 minutes or so.
We did a 50-mile run. It counts as
Whoa.
a ultra race.
Yeah.
Damn.
We did
That's-
JFK. We did JFK 50 mile, which you should do sometime.
Okay,
You would destroy it.
I wanted to do, and if I hadn't done New York this year, I really wanted to do JFK, but I had a wedding that weekend, so I was like, that's a
man.
non-negotiable. Can't do it that weekend.
That's amazing.
It's a race I think you would destroy. I just think it would
yeah.
be so set up for your strengths. Like if you're out there running the trails and then you get on that tow path and you just be able to rock it.
For
Oh yeah,
sure.
because
You'd
it's all
probably
like
be done.
basically road running for the last half of it, right?
More than that, really, last 32 miles is essentially, and the
Oh,
first
damn.
3 miles. So yeah,
Yeah, there's 15 miles of it that's, or I guess it's 13 miles of it that's kind of disgusting up in the Appalachian Trail.
yeah, about 13
Oh
miles.
god,
There's really
East
only
Coast
13.
trails are gnarly though. Like I don't know
Yeah,
if I could do
that is
East Coast
true.
trail running.
It's like people made fun of me because I use poles, but they saved my life like 10 times from breaking my ankles.
Yeah, it gets pretty treacherous for sure.
Yeah.
But I think what's funny too is that do you know a trail runner named Matt Seidel?
No, but everyone always asks if we're related. We are not. I've
Okay.
never. I don't know him.
So I
He
think
claims he is related to
yeah,
you.
he actually changed his name just so people would
Yeah.
ask him that.
What if I was like, oh, we were married?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm familiar. Yeah, I think he podiumed or placed top 5 2 years ago at that race, which if someone was just looking down the race roster, they would assume it was you were using a pseudonym if they saw. I feel like if they see his name on her.
Why would,
on the
if you're using a
starting-
pseudonym, why would you use the same last name though?
Yeah, I mean,
I know,
just
true.
throw it off just a little bit.
Just enough.
Yeah,
Mark Seidel.
Yeah.
that is a good point. Yeah. But anyways, I think I would imagine you get that question a lot. now
Would
that
you
you're in
ever
the
want to
trail world.
run under a pseudonym? And what would it be?
Okay, no,
Have
so
you-
I
have
actually
you run
I
under?
did I have run under a pseudonym the first year that I did Speed Goat because I really didn't want people to like bother me. And of course Let's Run found out. But I ran it under my boyfriend's last name. So I ran as Molly Shapiro. So my
Yeah.
UTMB index for a while was Molly Shapiro. But no, I don't think I'd do that again. And like the
That's
whole
crazy.
thing
I didn't know-
completely
See, you
backfired.
didn't you didn't change it enough. Again, she left part of the name in there.
Yeah.
You need to be like Duke Stickum
Yeah.
or something
Yeah.
like that.
Well, I'll leave it up to you guys to choose my next trail running pseudonym, and we can choose the
Oh,
race that I will secretively do. The problem
I
is
like
I think
this.
enough people like no, I don't think of myself as a very recognizable person, but I notice that I do get recognized a lot, so I think that the pseudonym just doesn't work at this point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as someone who has seen you in public at Falmouth, the reason why you're also recognizable is you have a magnetic personality that everybody is kind of converging on you. And I felt bad when we were there because it's like before the race you probably had to pose with 40, 50 people to get photos.
And that
Yeah.
was in it was like 2021, so it was still weird, I think. Like
It was
people
right
Yeah,
after
because it
COVID.
was
She,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, it was right after I got back from Tokyo. That was the first like real like public race that we had. And so it
yeah.
still is kind of like funny. Like I feel like I've gotten more used to it now and I think it's like calmed down quite a bit. But like it still is very funny anytime I get recognized. Like yeah, I feel like that was a weird thing too, even. So like my girlfriend came to New York and it was the first race she's ever seen me do. And it was a weird adjustment for her because like she's not a runner, she's not in this world. And for her to see that for the first time, she's like, oh shit, like this is actually like a thing. Like people do like come up to you a lot.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
Was she impressed?
I I wouldn't say impressed. I think she was like a little bit like shocked and terrified. But I think like it's cool. Like she appreciates it, but I don't think she blows it up bigger than it needs to be.
I think it's fun because what you're doing though is like you make somebody else feel special just by being in your presence. Like you
Mhm.
get to be there and by allowing them to take a photo with you or allowing them to come up and say hi and hey, you mean a lot to me in some, capacity. Like that person goes home and they're like, I met Molly Seidel. I got a picture with her. I got that. That's such a neat spot to be in
Mhm.
as a runner and as an athlete.
Mhm.
You can make someone's day with that stuff.
Mhm. Well, and I appreciate you saying that. And like I do find that like as a pro runner, I think that that does kind of come with the job that it's like you kind of have to be an ambassador for the sport and like at the end of the day, I am just like a big fan of running. And so when I see people who are really like keyed into the sport, who are following pro runners, who are getting out there and doing the sport themselves, I find that it's very easy to connect with those people because it's like we're all doing the same thing. Like when people come up to me in New York who are also running New York, like we're getting to like we're getting to meet obviously like I'm a professional runner, but we are both racing in the same
Yeah, it's
competition.
the weirdest thing.
Yeah, but it's I think that like at the core of it, that's why I do love running because it's like you get that deep connection like with everybody
Mhm.
who's in the sport. And I think it's like you get one chance to like be a great ambassador for a person. And so I hope that I get to be that for people when they meet me. I don't want someone to meet me and be like, "Oh, Molly Seidel is such an asshole."
Oh, what a jerk she was. No,
Yeah.
I always say, it's funny because like it is the one sport that you line up like in New York this year. You're lining up with Ilya Kipchoge. You're lining up
Mhm.
with all these people. You're on the same course. You're doing the same thing. If imagine any other sport like football, I would get you the first time I got tackled, I'd be dead. But you just don't get to experience.
The crazy thing too is that we get more fans cheering for us than the elites. Because when Eliud Kipchoge goes through Central Park, there's hardly anyone there because it's so early in the morning.
Mhm.
By the time we get through, it's great. Like it's a complete. Everyone's drunk. Everyone's cheering and going
Yeah. Well,
crazy. It's
I
like
thought
that's
I thought you were saying us personally.
yeah,
well,
like
no,
you
and then
like believe in the run
as
guys personally are
Yeah.
more famous than
Yeah.
Eliud Kipchoge.
Screw Molly.
yeah,
Yeah.
That make that the quote of this podcast. We are
yeah,
more
yeah,
famous than Eliud Kipchoge.
I don't even know why he runs.
Yeah.
yeah. We, as in the back of the pack,
Yeah.
we.
But I
Yeah.
think that's it. Like I would love the opportunity to run a marathon in like the normal pack because like as someone who I watched Boston every single year in the 5 years that I lived in
Mhm.
Boston and like I like obviously you want to see the pros go past, but like the
Right.
party is like with the rest of the crowd and that's where like all of Boston is just cheering for the entire field and I think that's where the real fun is. And that's where
Yeah.
you see it's like,
I
oh,
don't.
this is what the sport is.
Yeah, but I don't think you could handle it. I don't think
Mhm.
you doing if you did a 3.5 4 hour marathon. I think you would hate it.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe in some sort of like start with like maybe not start in the elite field, start in the like normal
Okay,
pack so
yeah.
that I can run with all the dudes as well who like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So when you're running out on trails, what's like your favorite, what's your favorite part about running on trails? Is it being out in nature? Is it the terrain? Is it the wildlife? I feel like there's so many things that I love about trails, but what's your favorite thing?
Oh, I think I love like the variety of it. I think is so nice. Coming from a road racing background where it's just the same shit all the time. When you're
Yeah.
on trail, like every single day is different and you really get to choose your own adventure, especially here in the Southwest. Like you are going through almost like different, like it's fun, like running a Sedona, the higher you go, or like in the canyon, the lower you go, you're going through literally like different environments and terrains. And I think I love that
Yeah.
aspect of it. I also love that you have to be so keyed in the whole time. Otherwise, you will fall and break your face. Like,
True.
it's like you have to be so focused and it makes you get into a flow state a lot easier.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
but I also think for me, I really appreciate how challenging it is. Like, with on the roads, the main challenge is your aerobic system or like being able to buffer lactate.
Hmm.
And it's that kind of one variable. Whereas on the trail, within a single run, you can be dealing with like a really big climb, like a multi-thousand-foot climb, a really terrifying descent. You can be going like through rivers. Like I fell in a creek last week. And so it's just like stuff like that, you have to kind of like be constantly adjusting yourself to fit the
Yeah.
terrain. It's almost like you have to like get outside of yourself a bit and you lock into like the ground that you're covering, which I like that because my ADHD brain like locks into it
I
really
was
well.
literally, I was just going to ask you
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
it's funny because it's like it feels like my brain is kind of
Are you,
made for this because it does process the challenge of it
mhm.
really well. And rather than going into a run and knowing what the hard part is going to be, it's kind of like going into a run and being like, I have no idea where the hard part is going to
Yeah.
be, but I know there are probably going to be multiple of them, and I have to just respond to it when I do. I also have loved the aspect that like I'm a pretty big music fan and I love being able to just like put on multiple albums and just like have uninterrupted listening time on stuff.
Mhm.
Like it's nice like when you have like a 4-hour run, I try to save the last 2 hours to listen to music and you can get through a lot of music in that time.
And
Okay.
and
What?
obviously you wear a boombox on your
Yeah.
backpack, and so everyone can hear
Exactly.
it, right?
I'm one of those assholes that's going like full
That'd be
blast music
amazing.
the entire time.
And then she has a microphone where she can shout
Yeah,
out
doing
miles.
karaoke.
Mile 3. Anyway, what are we playing though? If you're a huge music fan, what's on the playlist?
Okay, so recently I've been on a huge Geese kick, where I've just got,
Ah,
yeah, we got to see them actually in concert the day after we got
Oh,
back
nice.
from New York. And so like when Getting Killed was released, like that has been like that has been one of my main albums of the year. The other one leading
Mhm.
up to it, like the first half of the year was all Bad Bunny. Like Debutir Armas Photos
Oh,
was
wow. Okay.
like my most listened to album of the year. And that is the one that I always will put on like when I'm coming out of the Grand Canyon and the final hour of it is all climbing up. And I'm like, that's
yeah.
go time when I like need to like be able
Oh,
to like
jeez.
lock in. But what
Yeah.
was it? Fred
When I'm
Again.
power hiking.
Yeah. Yeah. I know
I've read
exactly.
again. Mhm.
Yeah. Fred Again's new album that he just got USB has been like this week's rotation. I was doing
Let me
like,
ask you about
yeah.
Geese real quick.
Yes.
Did it take you a while to get into the album, or did you like it immediately?
Okay, so for some songs, I liked them immediately. Like what was it? Trinidad, the first song on it, which like a lot of people don't love that one. Immediately, I was like, I love this album. It was some of the slower songs that it took me a while to get into. But I find if I don't like certain songs, I just will listen to that album on repeat until I like the album and
Till
I
you
can
like it.
appreciate
Interesting.
it. But
I
I
feel like
actually,
that's where
yeah,
I'm at.
yeah. It's
I'm in
funny.
that middle ground right now.
Are you?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't love.
For Geese?
Yeah, oh, okay, like with Getting Killed. Did you like 3D
Yeah, I feel like I'm
Country
just
when
in the
it first
middle
came
ground
out?
where, yeah, I'm like, I listened to it. I'm like, okay, I could see how I can like this. I could see how this can grow on me, but I just had to listen to it more to get to that point.
I'm struggling with getting into geese, but I want to try. Do you listen to Turnstile at all?
No, I don't.
Okay, they're a local Baltimore band that is like, here's why I started listening to Geese. Someone did a thing on Instagram where like, it's the first rock and roll band from Gen Z. And I'm like, wait, Turnstile, I would say
Yeah.
is well, I guess some people try to call it hardcore, but I don't know.
At this point, not really. Yeah.
Listen to Never Enough by Turnstile.
Never
would
enough
like
by
it.
Turnstile. Okay. That'll be good. Maybe
That's out.
I can add that into my run tomorrow.
No, actually, it would be great. It's great running.
It is
You would
great.
vibe on it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good.
Never Enough is a great song. I Care is a great song.
Yeah, I mean, the whole album is amazing.
Yeah.
The other problem with Geese is that there's also a band called Goose, which is also
Yes, the
popular
jam
now.
band.
Yeah. it's like, wait,
Because
does
I
this
feel like
actually have
Goose has
to be
been along
happening?
for a while.
Yeah, but also Geese. I mean, Geese. They've had their first album coming out like 4 or 5 years ago, so it's not a while, but but and then
I feel like Molly could work here just because
Yeah,
she
we just-
loves shoe tech and
and
music.
Yeah,
So, I don't know what you're doing these days, but when you're not running,
If you need
Come on over.
a Flagstaff or Austin correspondent, I don't know if I can move all the way out to Baltimore, but I would love to be your
All right.
foreign correndent on the West Coast.
that would work.
that'd be amazing.
We don't
Yeah.
have an Arizona reviewer, so maybe we'll have to check it out. And then you definitely don't have to worry about shoes.
Yeah.
The whole everything's on the table.
See, that would be my dream of just getting to try out whatever I want all the time. Like when I was in college, I worked at a running shoe store back in Wisconsin during the summers, and that was like my favorite perk of it is that we had to run in every pair of shoes in the store in order to be able to like talk about them.
sell it.
And that was
Yeah.
like one of my most fun summers of just every day getting to go out in a new pair of shoes and try it out. And I feel like that's kind of what like taught me how to have like a feel for different shoes and just like you all it is just running in a lot of them, which I'm sure you guys like
Yeah.
that's 90% of your job is just trying out a bunch of stuff and realizing like what you like, what works, what doesn't work.
Yeah.
We have a minimum, like we try to do at least 20 miles in a shoe before we review it. But there are shoes that I put on out of the box and I'm like, this is it. I know exactly what the feel is and everything like that. At this point,
Wait, how do you have an apartment or a house? Because that's an important aspect of being a shoe reviewer because you will soon be consumed by shoes.
Okay, so I have a house here in Flagstaff, and I already am. I look like a shoe hoarder because, like, not only do I
Yeah.
have I have a lot of shoes from the time, like when I was with Saucony. I have so many shoes from when I was with Puma,
I
and then I
forgot about
also
Saucony.
just buy a lot of shoes. Yeah, so it's like I have so many different shoes, and now I'm getting sent them
Okay.
all. But all the ones that I'm getting sent because I've been in Austin for a little bit, they're all getting sent to Austin. And so I have I have a storage unit there where I keep my car when I'm gone. But now it's like rapidly being taken over by shoes. So I don't know
By
if I can
shoes.
actually afford the space required for this.
That's
Like I actually do believe this is my most like woo woo thing. I think that Arizona actually is has a crazy amount of energy that people can't explain. And so my friend
Okay.
Lindsay the other week, there's a loop around Wilson Mountain that's called the Three Pass Loop. And she gave me the route and didn't tell me anything about it. And so I do this run and right around mile 14, I bonk so hard. Like I feel terrible. And I'm just like, God, I must have messed up the fueling, something, whatnot. And after the run, Lindsay literally asked me, how did you feel around mile 14 of that loop?
No
And I
way.
was like, to be honest, I felt terrible. I don't know what it was. She's like, great. I've been trying to test this theory that there's a vortex
What?
at mile 14 and everybody bonks there. The last person she took on it literally
No
threw
way.
up. And so I don't know. I had some friends who were just
What a
out
nice
visiting
friend.
and we were trying, we were trying to go vortex hunting. But I don't know. I do kind of believe in it. I think if you're out here for long enough,
Okay.
you start to believe in it. If you guys come to Flagstaff, we'll take you to some vortexes.
okay. Do you have a Kachina doll?
No, I do not have a Kachina doll.
Okay. I used
I
to
do
go
have
to
a
summer
bunch of,
camp in
I have a
Arizona.
lot of crystals. Yeah. Oh, really? I have a lot of crystals and like different rocks, but solely from a geology standpoint. I really like rocks.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
so it's not less spiritual.
Not, no, not spiritual at all. I find that it's fun because whenever people come visit, I take them to like some of the rock shops or the crystal shops. But like the rocks are just cool. I'm not going to pay like thousands of dollars for a rose quartz or whatnot, but I'll get the little ones because they look so pretty.
Yeah, try putting it in your shoe and see if it works. Like it gives you magic shoe
One of
power.
one of my college teammates believed that pyrite, like fool's gold, healed inflammation, and so he would put it on like any injury that he had. So I don't
Really?
know. I might need to try that if I get any tendonitis.
All right.
I mean, it is kind of crazy. Quartz is it is kind of a magical mineral in that if you just apply pressure to it, it starts generating electricity. Like that's how quartz watches work. That's an insane thing. Like just it creates electricity just from pressure. It's a
didn't-
rock, dude.
Yeah.
Rock, see, rocks rock. I like that's the thing. I am fully sold on like rocks are the coolest thing. I love anytime I go into the Grand Canyon, you get to see like so many different layers of rock. And like, I don't know, I think it's cool.
Yeah.
Is the show that I'm trying to ask her about, is that Age of Information? Is that what the name of it is called?
Not Age of Information, Age of.
Have you seen the UFO documentary on Amazon with the people from
No.
Congress and everything like that? Oh, you got to watch it.
No, wait,
think it
what?
is
I would
nominated.
totally watch that.
Okay. Like you probably get to rest after your runs, right? A little bit.
Age
Right,
of
yeah.
Disclosure.
Age
General-
of Disclosure.
Age of Disclosure. Okay, so I've got so
it's on
many
Amazon.
recommendations. I've got new bands. I've
I
got
had
new
to
Whoa, what are the balloons that just came up?
I don't know. You just did peace or something? How's that work?
Are you in a vortex right now and there's balloons?
Yeah, they are. Happy birthday, Molly.
You're gonna have to cut this entire portion out of the podcast because people will be like, "What the fuck are they talking about?"
I love it. No, people love this. Our audience
Yeah,
loves
this
this
is
stuff.
what we do anyways.
They'd rather hear you talk about your enjoyment of television shows and
Yeah,
stuff
than
like
running.
That. Yeah.
Yeah.
They want to get to know what Molly does in her free time. But this documentary, I actually paid $14.99 to watch it on Amazon. And I think it was worth it because now I believe.
Oh man.
You'll see.
Yeah.
But all
That's
right.
crazy.
No, I'll
Right.
definitely
Okay.
check it out.
Nice. Yeah, shoe related question. If I'm still thinking about the UFOs. Shoe related question. The Saucony Endorphin Speed 2 top 5 shoe, yes or no? Ever. Because for me it is.
Oh, that's the one with
Endorphin
the
speed.
TPU plate, not the carbon plate, right?
Right.
Correct.
Look at her.
Correct.
Oh,
Yes.
See, this is why you're awesome.
Okay, the Speed 2 of the endorphins, I use that for like probably 90% of my workouts or so. Like that was such a good shoe. It was so good for like like
Yes.
up-tempo long runs because when you didn't want to have to be in carbon, but you still wanted something with a bit of snap to it. Also, I feel like what's the foam that is it still Everrun or do they use a different
They use
supercritical
a
foam
different
now
one now.
on it?
Yeah. So that was
Yeah,
Power Run
but
PB.
whatever, because Power Run, that's what it was. Okay, because so when I was with Saucony, it was right when all the super shoes were coming out. And so they used me for a lot of product testing on it because Molly Huddle didn't like running in super shoes and they could kind of put me in anything. And it was really fun to get to test out the different iterations of that foam. And then the one that they settled on had so much snap to it. Like, in all honesty, that is a great shoe.
Yeah, it's one of my all-time favorites. So I knew you were running in it at that time, so I wanted to get your thoughts on it, just to confirm,
In the mutant colorway.
Yeah,
It's funny because those like super trainers, I feel like what was it? The Speed 2, the Peg Turbos, and then there was another one. God, I can't remember, but like those shoes, like that iteration of shoes was so good.
yeah. There was a handful at that time that were just
I think we're back in that
Incredible.
zone, though. I think that we're hitting this level now with the Evo SL and shoes coming out in that genre that are really good.
yeah, for sure. All right. So what's your next for getting back to trails real quick? You said you're doing Black Canyons. After that, do you have any plans that you're announcing, or are just keeping that up in the air for now?
No. So we've got some ideas of like a 100 miler potentially in the fall. But for now, I think a lot of it is just kind of waiting and seeing how Black Canyon goes, just because that will determine like what races we do from there. So I'll do Bandera 50K on January 11th or 12th as like a prep race out in Texas. And then, yeah, everything's just focused on Black Canyon. And then after that, depending on how I finish, we'll kind of assess the season from there. I still have like a pipe dream of getting to race either OCC or CCC out in Chamonix this
Oh
summer.
wow.
I have no idea how to qualify for either of them. I don't know if you're allowed to qualify in the same calendar year for the UTMB races, but that like
Can't you
I
just
have
sign up?
such a like N- I know. I wish I could just like send the race directors like an email in French
Yeah,
and be like,
it's
"Please, sir,
Molly.
let me in." I don't think
We
they'd give a
ran. We
fuck,
got.
but like,
We we did the little tiny one this year. We went out and did the ETC, and it was
how far is that
it
one?
was it's they do they call it 20K, but it's
How
really
far
like
does it
15K.
feel? How far does it feel?
It feels forever. So, but I think it was like it's listed as a 20K, but I think
Okay.
it's in actuality it was like a 15K, but there was enough climbing and stuff that it
Hmm.
felt pretty challenging. And I have to say, even if you
Hmm.
don't get into one of the races, which I'm sure you can pull some strings and get into the race, but they going to Chamonix was one of my I went all over the world last year, and Chamonix was one of my favorite places. It was just gorgeous. The ETC was actually on the Italian side, and just I mean took my breath away. Like talk
Oh,
about
see,
running on
like
a trail.
I'm convinced that like somewhere over there, like UTMB week in Chamonix is like one of the peak experience. Like every runner should get to experience that at some point in their life. It is so much fun. And like all I want out of like this phase of my career too is just to get to go race in cool places that have like all my friends and family come. And so that is like my main goal of the year is just to manage to like get a chalet in Chamonix and get to race so everybody can come out and watch and like hang out and eat raclette for the week. But if you guys get me into one of these races, I will race in a Believe in the Run T-shirt.
Oh, you heard it. I will do this. I'm gonna.
Hurry up, get
You
on it.
might have to wear hookahs. Yeah.
That would be amazing.
All right. I'll work on this.
And
You are
then-
now going to be. I'm going to make you an unofficial official
Yeah.
member.
And then come out to the East Coast and do a JFK 50 mile in November to wrap up the whole year. Boom. Done.
You know, what would be fun is like
See,
to
that
some of my
actually
friends. I was
sounds
like,
perfect.
it does, but the thing is, I was like thinking, okay, next year maybe I don't want to run JFK again, but maybe I want to run like 10 miles on the towpath with someone and just be there to pace them as in the monotony. And I'm like, Molly would still be running too fast for me to even see her.
I'll run it again. You can pace
All right,
me.
all right. Would you really consider it?
I would probably do it again.
I
It was
think
a
you guys
great
could be
race.
my celebrity pacers.
Oh, I'll just have your bag at all the stops.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
All right, let's make plans for this year and next year, and let's get Molly in a t-shirt.
Let's figure it out.
All right. Do you have a favorite kind of t-shirt for ultras? Like, are you a cotton t-shirt or you like tech fabrics?
I am cotton t-shirt all the way. I think it's the original performance fabric. I
No way.
probably will race
Nice.
Black Canyon in a cotton t-shirt. Yeah. No, I think like a
This
cotton
is
cutoff
amazing.
t-shirt. It's actually funny. So like obviously my sister and I have done the Sad Girl Tracks Club stuff with all the raccoons, and my friend
Yeah.
MVP found this Hanes Comfort Colors perfect, like the best t-shirts with a raccoon in a cowboy hat and cowboy boots on it. And I'm like, that might be the fit.
Yeah.
Dude, Robbie, you might have to scrounge up one of your raccoon hats
I
and send
know.
it to
I
her.
might have to. I don't know if I have any more left. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah, now my mind is just spinning
Yeah.
because there's so many options. All right.
I know if you keep
If you guys can put
championing
together a nice like cotton t-shirt for me, I'll do it.
Yeah,
All
I was
right,
gonna say
I
you
can
keep
do
talking
it.
about cotton, you might end up having a phone call from Satisfy. I don't know. It's that's their thing. So
Oh my God, I would love
have
that.
to see.
Bunch of
That'd be
holes in it.
amazing. Yeah, exactly.
I did it with a shotgun.
Yeah, it works.
It did. I didn't have the fancy laser cut.
Yeah.
but
Oh, really?
It had holes.
A shotgun worked.
Yeah, it had holes in it. Yeah. All right. Anything
Yeah.
else?
No, I think we've taken up plenty of Molly's time. We learned about everything, and I want to say thanks to Morton for setting this up and getting us back in touch with an old friend. And it's exciting. Like I love that your enthusiasm for the trails is here, and like I wasn't sure like what we would be getting from somebody transitioning from the spotlighted road to going to the trail, but this is exciting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's fun getting to talk with you guys about it. And like honestly, I have no idea how it's gonna go, but like I don't know. It's been fun. I'm looking forward to getting to keep doing it. And yeah, we'll see. Hopefully I'll see you guys in Chamonix this summer.
That
All right.
would be
That's
amazing.
exciting.
Yeah.
All right. We'll talk to you later. Good luck in your future trail endeavors coming up here in a little bit.
Give a good stretch, got my laces tied. My trusty podcast by my side. If you wanna talk